Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you a kind of a classic, good old format video. Of course, now I've got Sony Vegas back, so luckily. I've actually got the updated Sony Vegas, ooh, fancy. Luckily I'm going to be able to bring you some awesome, good videos now, and I can actually edit videos now, which is good. Thumbnails, still having a bit of trouble, but I found a crappy little online one, so I'm just going to use that for now. It's fine, it's not like my thumbnails were that detailed anyway. Anyway, moving on. So we've got, of course, we need to do, just like always, we've got to do our things. Our 4th of July ranked. So of course, I always do this for mini events instead of I do it for the big events as well. I can't to tell a lie, you know. I of course do the big events as well. Now for the mini events, what I like to do is I like to rank them from the worst to the best, and we can talk about it and we discuss which one's better, which year was better. So of course 4th of July has been running since 2013. It didn't have one in 2012 because obviously it didn't have updates that early. And of course, or events anyway, and it's had one ever since, right until 2017, so we're going to be ranking them from the worst to the best. So anyway, let's get into it. So first of all, what is the worst, or the 5th best if you want, if you want to make it sound nice. And honestly, evaluating it, and I probably should have said about this in my review, it's 2017. I think 2017 is probably the worst we've ever got. It is the worst we've ever got. I was kind of a bit in doubt because I was pretty happy we got Dwight Eisenhower. I wasn't I don't think it was the best one to add. I think the best one to add would have been probably I think George Washington's the best, the first George Washington, not the second. So they're kings. It's a bit like a monarchy though, isn't it? It would have been a bit like a monarchy if Clinton got elected. No, I'm joking. But anyway, we got Dwight Eisenhower. And, Dwight Eisenhower is, of course, pretty cool president, but it would have been nice to get someone like George Washington, but whatever. I think the update as a whole was pretty crappy. Of course, we got Dwight D. Eisenhower, and the only other thing we got is the thing he came with, which, of course, was Eisenhower's 4x4 Ford, his Jeep, basically. And, I don't know, I just don't think it was particularly very good. You know, I don't think it was a particular. Yeah, we didn't get anything. That's the problem. Everything else was returning, of course. Now, if we compare it to the other ones, yeah, we didn't get very much in a few others. But I'll talk about the next one in a second. But of course, 2017 we got the least, and that's the reason it's here. It's nothing to do with the president, because honestly, the character as a whole isn't very interesting. You might like the president, but the character as a whole isn't very interesting. I don't think. I don't think anyone could say he is interesting because he's not. He didn't even do anything. The only interesting character that I think could be that would be a president that we could get now is probably just George Washington, because he's the only president that really got much of a story, apart from maybe Gerald Ford, because he got a bit of a story, I guess. But I don't know who we're gonna get next year. We'll have to see. But I guess I hope they do keep up the tradition of a president a year. I do like that tradition. Anyway, moving on. The next one, the second worst, is 2015. So yeah, 2015 is the second worst, and of course this gave us Richard Nixon. So of course we got Richard Nixon, we got the Scandalgate Hotel, and we got the Presidential Estate, and we also got the Patriotic Box of Fireworks. Now the reason I put this one here is mainly because, one, we only got one character, and to be honest with you, I think Richard Nixon is a good, not a good president, but a good character. Or maybe, I'm not going to say whether or not I thought he was a good president. I mean, he did have to resign, but whatever. we'll see. But no, Richard Nixon is a good character. I think he was, of course, in the university episode, he was he's a little funny guest star almost. And so he's had a few funny moments in the show. So he's not the worst of presidents they could have picked. It's pretty cool. Of course, he's more relevant in Futurama. I think in Futurama he's one of the best characters. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, so of course with that, like I said, we've got the Scandalgate Hotel. It's pretty cool. Obviously, it's a mock on the Watergate Hotel, so it's a pretty funny, I want to say historical building, yeah, I guess. Then we have the Presidential Estate, which of course is the home of George Washington, which would now be Gerald Ford's home. And I think this is kind of annoying because the reason I didn't like them adding this building is, first of all, it was really, they sort of compacted it and made it like it was like they kind of, they dumbed it down, in my opinion. The building, they kind of made it smaller than it should have been. Also, it should have come with, it would have been the perfect building to come with either Gerald Ford or, of course, George Washington. It could have come with either. But yeah, and I guess we got one cool thing. But that's what I put. I put that one there. I just wasn't so keen on that one. Number 3, the third best or the third worst, you can see it's either one, is 2016. And of course, this one this was last year's one. This gave us Teddy Roosevelt, who's okay, and Squawky, and also gave us, chair, and it gave us no buildings, but it did give us the Springfield National Park, which I think is a really nice decoration, and Old Faithless, which is like a geyser, which I really like. And the only reason this slightly goes above 2015 is because I like the non-playable character. I like how we got 2 characters. I think this is a good format for mini events. We get 1 character and we get a non-playable character. I think either that or we get a premium, and a premium and a free. I prefer it if the non-playable was premium, but the fact that we get Squawky free is pretty cool. I know it's not like it's the he's not like he's the most interesting character ever, but I do like Squawky. I think he's a pretty cool non-playable character, so that kind of helped this update a lot. Teddy Roosevelt, I mean, he's not that interesting of a character. He's pretty bland in my opinion, so I couldn't really he doesn't do any favors to it. Squawky does though. But I do have to say though, I like how they improvised a lot of the stuff with Teddy Roosevelt. Some of the animations are pretty cool, so I have to say that. And I think the quest line wasn't too bad either. And I especially like the nature stuff. I like all the nature stuff because it really helps with my design. It really helped with my sort of nature-esque designs. So that's the reason I put that just slightly above the Richard Nixon year. And then we have 2014 as number 2. So yeah, of course, I've given it 2014 number 2 because really cool, really solid. It gave us 2 characters. I think this is the perfect one. I think at a minimum it should be a playable character and a non-playable character, but I like it when it is 2 playable characters. That's cool. And maybe a non-playable character on top, that would be a nice little cherry on the top. Or a skin. I'll accept either. George Washington was, of course, the premium, and we got Giuseppe, whatever the heck his name is, who's the little fireworks man who makes fireworks. And of course we got the sit and rotate as a building, which kind of was added in the 4th of July, but it was also just added onto the level thing, so I don't know if we'll count that, but we won't count that. But we did get Giuseppe's workshop. We also got the Lincoln Memorial. We got the apple tree. No, sorry, not the cherry tree, which of course came with Washington. We got the crater fireworks, the pinwheel firework, the American flag, and of course the fireworks barge. I don't know how much of that was returning. Oh no, sorry, we didn't get them. They were all from 2013. We only got the Liberty Bell and the Lisa Statue of Liberty with this update. Oh no, did we? I don't know. Actually, but we did get the cherry tree anyway. I don't know. We got the Lincoln Memorial. I'm a bit unsure about that. Whatever. I mean, the wiki's a bit confusing here. I think someone's typoed. Anyway, moving on. Whatever. Ignore that. Basically, we got a few decorations and 2 solid characters, and I think Giuseppe and how the heck you say it is a really cool character, and George Washington was pretty cool as well. He wasn't like the worst president they could have picked. Of course, he's the first president, and when I say the worst, I'm not talking about their political achievements. I'm talking about the character as in The Simpsons. Like, is he a relevant character in The Simpsons? I'm not bothered about their politics. I don't care at this point. Right. Anyway, let's just move on to the number 1. I've made a mess of number 2, so let's go. Can we have that drum roll? Anyway, number 1 is 2013. Of course it's 2013. So it's often that the first year is the best year. In this case, I think the first year is always going to be the best year, because I don't really see what they can really do unless they give us... I think... Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I think there is a lot they could do to make another year the best year. They could give us 3 characters, and that would instantly probably put it above this. Of course, this year gave us sort of 2 characters. It gave us Rex Banner, who I think is just awesome. I really love Rex Banner. I know he doesn't have voice and everything, but the character is so cool and so awesome. I think everyone loves him. He's just such a cool character. And of course, it also gave us Abraham Lincoln, who is a pretty cool character, not president. You know what I mean? Pretty cool character. He's been in a few scenes in The Simpsons, so pretty relevant. It gave us Lincoln's Cabin. It gave us the obviously the original 4th of July stuff is what we got here, all the decorations and stuff like that. And we also got the Nighthawk Dino with Rex Banner. Of course, Rex Banner was free, which is awesome, and Lincoln's Cabin was donuts, unfortunately. But hey ho, you can't have all of it free. We got the Liberty Bell here as well, and we also got the Lisa Statue of Liberty, the Pinwheel Fireworks, and the box of fireworks, and the American flag were all this year, not last year. Not last year, the following year. But yeah, 2013 wins by a hole. I think it's just got... And of course, and forgot to mention, we also got the All-American Arpoo as a costume right at the start. And the reason 2013 just wins and takes it, just runs with it, is because, let's be honest, it's very solid. It's got one premium, one non-premium, and then it throws in a costume as well. And I think that's beautiful. 2 buildings, maybe we could have had an extra building, possibly, to make it perfect. But I'm not going to complain too much, because we got quite a few decorations. The only way this event would have been perfect is if it gave us maybe one other building, like the Capitol building, or it gave us like the Statue of Liberty or something like that, or, the White House. Something else, maybe not the White House, because I kind of want that to be special. But yeah, anyway, guys, I guess that's it. I don't really think there's anything else to say. I think you can understand my reasoning. I don't think I need to explain any more why I've picked 2013, because I think most of you will agree 2013 is by far the best. There's not really much competition. Anyway, today was obviously a double upload because I promised my 1K special, and of course that was quite delayed, so I had to do a double upload. I'm like scarce. But I will actually be doing a triple upload today because there's something else I need to mention for Futurama Worlds of Tomorrow. I almost want to call it Quest for Stuff. Futurama Quest for Stuff. I'm just gonna call that as a meme. Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my Futurama Worlds of Tomorrow video. And if you haven't already, please go watch my 1K special. It was a pretty cool video. I think it's funny in parts. It's quite long, but I think it's worth it. And I would appreciate it. You'd get my appreciation. So anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.